Hello everyone, welcome to my newest Let's Play. It's going to be a Game Boy game from Konami, obviously. It is Castlevania, The Adventure, although the title screen makes it look like it says The Castlevania Adventure, but the correct name is Castlevania, The Adventure. This was a game released for the Game Boy. It's the first Castlevania game on the Game Boy. There were 3 that came out. This was followed by Castlevania The Adventure 2, and then there was Castlevania Legends. So, Castlevania The Adventure 2 also stars this Belmont, which is Christopher Belmont. And it takes place, according to the Castlevania timeline, after Castlevania 3. Castlevania 3 takes place in 1476, and every 100 years Dracula revives. This one takes place in 1576. So once again, we're going to take control of a whip-wielding Belmont, tasked to defeat Dracula and save Transylvania and basically the world from the evils of Count Dracula. Like all Belmonts, Christopher here wields a whip, the famed vampire killer. But he initially starts out with just a leather whip, and this whip can go through 3 different phases. There's the starting phase, the leather whip, which is weak and has a short range. Next, if you get a crystal, it upgrades to a chain whip, which is stronger and has a little bit of a longer reach. And then on getting the second crystal, it becomes a fireball throwing whip. So it adds a little bit of range to your whip. Range is good because, one, it allows you to hit enemies from further away, and another reason why range is really, really good in this game is because, unlike Trevor in Castlevania 3 and Simon in Castlevania 1, Christopher does not have access to any sub-weapons. The only weapons he'll ever have is just his vampire killer whip. So there's no daggers, no axes, no holy water or boomerang crosses. It's just Christopher and his whip. And what's bad about that is the whip degrades every time you take a hit. So if I got hit right now, my fire-throwing whip will revert back to the chain whip. If I take another hit, then I'm back to the leather whip. So, yeah, it's that makes the game pretty difficult. What also makes the game difficult, especially in an upcoming section here, is there's no real momentum in this game. What I mean by that is, say like in Mario, you can hold the B button down, run a little bit, and because you're running, your jumps will be a little bit further. Christopher always walks at this slow plodding speed. A lot of people complain about the speed that he walks at. It was never really an issue for me because this, I think, might have been... This is only the second Castlevania game I ever played. My first was Castlevania 2, and then when I got the Game Boy, I was like, well, I like Castlevania 2, I'll pick this one up. So I really couldn't compare it to any of the other Castlevania games like 1, 3, and then eventually Super Castlevania 4, which was basically a retelling of Castlevania 1 on the Super Nintendo. So the momentum thing didn't really bother me. But some people, for them, it's a turn-off, I guess, because he moves kind of slow compared to some of the other Belmonts, and that just might be a limitation of, you know, Konami. This is the first time they're programming for the smaller handheld Game Boy. But what makes it difficult is, in order to make these jumps, he doesn't pick up any momentum when he's walking. So in order to make these wide jumps, he's basically going to have to sneak all the way over to the edge of the ledge, where it's almost like he's just balancing on one foot, one leg, and then make the jump then. So, yeah, it can make some jumps pretty tricky. There's a glowing crystal ball. At the end of every stage, there's going to be a glowing crystal ball. You collect that crystal ball, and you summon the prime evil of the stage. This one is a knight. He has a little whip himself that shoots out, but it's not as long as yours, so it's easy to take him down. You can outrange him. Unfortunately, you can't hit him with fireballs. They just bounce off his armor. He's not too tough, and he'll actually come back as just a regular flunky, a mook in some of the future levels, so, yeah. He downgrades from boss to normal mook. So that's a little bit difficult right there. These bats here, they're one of the tougher enemies in the game because they have an erratic movement. You can't really tell where they're going to move. They're a terrible enemy, almost as bad as this enemy right here, the spitter enemies. They look like just a mouth with a neck, and they shoot these fireballs that bounce around at, you know, different angles. Now, what makes them bad is the fireballs move so much faster. Their projectile moves, I don't know if it's fireball, it might be a phlegm ball or whatever. But the point is, their projectile moves so much faster than Christopher's, so it's very, very difficult to dodge. And the hit detection is also a little bit weird on your whip and the projectile, so it can be difficult to get hit, to avoid being hit by them, or hitting them yourself to destroy the projectile, which is one blessing. At least they can be destroyed. What's not so difficult to dodge is this guy right here. He throws boomerangs. He either throws them high or low. If he throws it high, just duck. If he throws it low, jump. Just remember, though, it's a boomerang, so it's going to come back. So if he throws it high, it's going to come back low. So duck, then jump. If he throws it low, it's going to go jump and then duck when it returns. So I took 2 hits there, so I'm back to the little unupgraded leather whip. I just got a crystal there. I'm back to the chain whip. So thankfully, there's quite a few upgrades in this stage. Back in the first stage, I didn't point it out because I was busy talking about some other things too, but speaking of upgrades, every single stage has a hidden room in it that has at least 3 candles. And the 3 candles are always going to hold glowing heart, which refills all your health, which is shown by that meter on the lower left, whip upgrade, and a 1-up. In the first level, there was a wall that I kind of climbed straight up through a rope. You can go back and look at that. In this level, in order to reach the secret room, we got to use these eyes. Not on this screen, but on another screen. As you see, I whipped that eye. I've been avoiding whipping the eyes, because when you whip these eyes, they explode. And if you're over the bridge, they'll take out planks on the bridge. If you whip them over the stone, nothing happens. But over the bridge, I guess they destroy the wooden planks on the bridge. And that can create a hole that you're going to have to jump over. And I already explained in level 1 how jumping over holes can be pretty difficult. So mainly I'm just avoiding whipping the eyes when I can. Sometimes I may have to, but I'm trying to avoid whipping them at all costs. So let's take out here. Now, I mentioned that those secret rooms, they all come with 1-up. You can also gain 1-ups through points. Right now I have 9,900 points. At 10,000 points we get an extra life, and then every 20,000 points we get another extra life. So I just got an extra life there, and I also got an extra life hanging above when I made across that platform jump there. So this way, what we want to do is we want to go down the left and then the right. But if we go the wrong way and we go down the right first, we get to this little secret room where there's this spitter guy, but we can get some health, we can get a whip upgrade, get a coin for points, and another coin for some more points. And then we just climb back up this way, and we'll end up in this room, and one more room, and we'll end up in we'll end up repeating back in that room where we're given choices on where to go. So here we're back on that bridge. We just dropped down. We end up this way. Now we're going to go right. And then this time we're going to take the left. And that'll put us on the correct path. They give us a cross here, and that's important because we're going to end up in an eye room where eyes are going to drop on us. This is the one time when the eye will blow up and destroy stone. On the third step here down, we want to whip the eye until it uncovers this little hole. Climb down that hole, and this is the secret room in level 2. There's our 1-up, there's our whip upgrade, a coin, and our full heart. In this game, hearts refill your life. In other Castlevania games, they're the ammunition for sub-weapons, but as I mentioned earlier, no sub-weapons in this game, so hearts are just ways to refill your life. Yeah, in other games you have to get meat out of walls, but that's weird. I don't know why you would want to eat a piece of meat that's just hanging in some wall in Dracula's castle, but video game logic. Don't question it. So these guys, once again, hey, they throw it high, duck, jump on the return. Going down is to the boss, but if we go up, we just have a repeat of the same screen, but you can't get the candles again, so. Here we have an easy boss, but he's basically these little like lizard creatures. They jump out of these holes. Now I'm going to show you how to defeat them without using the fireball whip. But basically, if it's on the far left, you can whip it, walk over and whip it. If it's on the far right, you just walk over and whip it. If it comes out of this hole, the second hole from the right, stand underneath it. When it lands on the ground, you can whip it. And the same thing applies to the second hole from the left. Just stand on the ground. When it falls down, whip it. The fireball, of course, makes it easier because you won't necessarily have to move. You can just whip, you can jump up and hit this one on the left with the fireball, kneel down, shoot a fireball, hit the one on the right. Sometimes the fireball can also hit this one in the middle. If you jump high and shoot your whip at the apex of your jump, the fireball can hit it. But like I said, sometimes the hitbox is weird, but I'm just showing this off in case you don't have, you know, the fire whip, how you can take them out. So you want to take them out as soon as they appear, though, because if you don't, then another one will appear out, and then they'll start jumping around and causing some trouble. So just take them out as they appear, and it's not so bad. And a lot of people, like I say, criticize this game, but it has some very unique stages. And this is one of my favorite stages of all the Castlevania games. I haven't really played a lot of Castlevania games. I've played 1, 2, 3, and Super Castlevania 4. So I don't know, but in those games, I've never encountered another stage like this, where basically the whole stage is a hazard. So we have these little springs. If we let the thing come down far enough, we can turn back, get that one up. Basically, the goal in this stage is, at least the first part here, is we have the ceiling coming down on us, and it's being brought down on us by those screws. Those big screws there. So we want to take out those screws before it pulls the ceiling down on us. Sometimes we won't hit the screw right away, and there'll be just like a little space in the ceiling that we gotta hide in. So you can whip that candle from far if you got the fireball, and if not, you just have to turn back and get that coin. But yeah, see, there's a little space here that we can duck down in, and just have a safe space. So here's our last screw, but what makes this stage unique is, like I said, the whole stage is like the hazard. I guess the closest it can be is like all those traps in Castlevania, Super Castlevania 4 and level 8 in the castle. But now the ceiling being the trap wasn't bad enough. Now we got the floor as a trap. So we have to climb all these ropes. If you notice, there's no steps in this game like many other Castlevania games. Steps have been replaced by ropes, which is a good thing that Christopher here has really good upper body strength. He'd be really good at Ninja Warrior, because he doesn't seem to ever get tired climbing these ropes, and he's going to be climbing a lot of ropes. Now, I guess, you know, realistically, those spikes don't look very sharp, and they're coming really slow, and it looks like there's so many of them, so he could probably do that physics trick where, like, magicians use to lay on a bed of nails, where they spread their body over such a large, concentrated area that the pressure is distributed to the point where there's not enough pressure on each nail to, you know, pierce the skin. Because these spikes look really slow, so it almost looks like Christopher can probably just, like, hang out on the floor and then ride the floor up, but can't do that. We gotta escape and climb these ropes. Thankfully, Christopher climbs faster than the floor moves up, but still, you gotta be kind of careful. There are some tricky jumps. Another tricky thing there is the fireball is not as strong as the chain whip, and if you hit one of those bugs, those caterpillars with the fireball, they'll roll up into a little ball and hit you, and that can waste some time. The most difficult part, though, of this is not the enemies, but just the jumping. The good rule of thumb is for every body width of Christopher, in order to go over, you want to be about a body length high. So if you're jumping and you gotta, say, clear a gap, like up here we got a gap that's about 2 body widths wide. We want to be at least 2 body heights higher to make the jump successfully. So, thankfully though, like I said, there is some room for error, not much, but there is, because as you can see, in some places you're going to have to stop and wait for the top of the screen to appear again. If we jump too quick there, we jump before a platform appeared or a ledge appeared, and we wouldn't be able to, we just get knocked down into the spikes. So the screen scrolls automatically. It's called an auto scroller. It doesn't matter, we can be at the top of the screen jumping, it's not going to make the screen go any faster. So we're basically at the mercy of the auto scrolling. So we had the ceiling attack us, now we had the floor attack us. What else can we have attack us? We can have the wall attack us. Yep, right now the right wall is starting to come out and it's once again covered in spikes. So now our goal is to go really, really fast and try to, outrace the spikes on the right. Making it more difficult, we got more ropes and jumps to do. So there's a little bit higher enemy concentration here, but if you remember that as long as you don't hit the caterpillars there with your fireball, they won't turn into that little bug with a little ball and roll and hit you and do a potential knockback and push you into the spikes. So we want to make sure that we're hitting them with the whip, not the fireball. So that means just getting kind of close to them, but we'll have plenty of time to do that. So we got another whip upgrade here. If we stop, there we go. Sometimes if the bug is like above you, you can shoot a fireball, because you can only have one fireball on the screen at a time. So you can shoot the fireball, and then any more times that you whip while the fireball is on the screen, the whip will come out without shooting the fireball. I just, like I said, I hit that bug there with the fireball. I guess I misjudged the length there. Missed it by a pixel or so probably. And it hit with the fireball, and you saw the bug turn into that little ball and rolled pretty fast. And like I said, Christopher moves slow, dodging that fast-moving bug could be trouble. So thankfully, there's no spitter enemies in this stage, but they'll be back in the next stage. So this game is very short. The stages are kind of long, so I think speedruns of this are actually longer than speedruns of Castlevania 1. So in that sense, I guess it's longer than the original Castlevania, but the stages are longer, but there's less stages. So right here, you notice there's kind of like a weird looking block on the right there. That's your clue that there's a secret room there. We go through that secret room, and we just get 3 candles, full heart upgrade, a 1-up, and a crystal if we want to get another whip power-up. Now, if you just didn't miss that secret room, climbing out of the secret room takes you to the same area. So thankfully, we don't have the left wall coming at us here. That would be, I guess, all the walls coming at us, the floor, ceiling. We just go this way to the boss, and this guy can be kind of annoying. There's some quick ways to defeat him. It's good if you can hit him with your whip and the fireball. As you can see, you do a lot of damage that way, because he takes damage from the fireball and the thing. But for the main part, you want to just stay away from him and hope that he swoops down when he's farther away from you. If he swoops down while he's above you, he'll end up hitting you, and that can cause the problem. So, and here we are on the 4th and final stage, Dracula's Castle itself. We've made our way to Dracula's Castle, and it starts off kind of innocent enough. We just walk past here, and looks like little Tetris blocks there up on top. But it's random. Some of these knights will come alive. It could be a problem if you only have the leather whip, because they'll take 2 hits with the leather whip, and they'll take out a lot of damage. So, and they can give you a lot of damage because your leather whip is short, and you may not be able to whip them twice before they run into you. So just stay on the ground. You don't want to be caught jumping forward when a knight comes alive. So just stay on the ground unless you're whipping a candle. And just make your way across here, and we get back to these boomerang guys. And you know I mentioned about the first boss becoming just a regular standard enemy? Well, here he is. Here he comes, just a little bit here. Yep, he's back, but thankfully, he doesn't have as much health. He's not annoying there, but he is going to be annoying much later. There's going to be a quarter with 3 of them in them, and you basically have to have the chain whip to make it through, so. Not as bad as this quarter, though, because we got the spitter enemies back again, tight spaces. One thing is, though, when you see a candle, that's pretty much your indication that a spitter enemy is about to appear, so you better be on the lookout here. So, we've got a candle here. Yep, spitter enemy usually appears a little bit right after the candle appears, so you can kind of know when you're going to have to get ready to start dodging. And unfortunately, we got some more of them coming up in this next room. We climb up, and more projectile spitting enemies. And these ones are annoying because he's hanging from the ceiling, so we can't just stand right up and whip him. We've got to take some time out to whip him, and it's just annoying. So now this one, we want to deal with him. You can avoid him. Annoy him, yeah. Well, I guess you're annoying him when you're whipping him, but you can avoid him if you already got a powered-up whip. But if you don't, you want to come over here because we got another whip power-up here. Now, what you can do is you can just wait until his projectile goes off screen there, and then turn back and attack him. So now we got a tricky jumping section coming up here, where the floor, ceiling, and maybe some walls are spikes, and we'll just be jumping on these little platforms here. And there's no momentum in this game, so even though so if you just jump straight up when you're on a platform, you won't move over to the direction that the platform is going. You'll just jump straight up. So that's how you time those jumps there, from jumping from the platform going horizontal to the vertical. Here we just got a bunch of vertical platforms. You don't want to jump when the platform is too high, otherwise you're going to jump and hit your head on the spikes, and any touching of the spikes, instant defeat. Same thing in this room here. Just want to kind of be careful when we're jumping. You want to jump when the platform you're jumping on is higher than the platform you're jumping to. But don't wait too long, because like I said, otherwise your head will bump into the spikes, and it doesn't matter if you just brush them or you fall on them. Anyway, it's instant defeat, and you're going to have to restart. Now, I haven't taken any defeats in this level so far, or any of the levels actually, but it's a checkpoint-based system, so certain rooms are certain checkpoints, so you don't necessarily defeat the stages from the beginning if you fail at a section. So this is an annoying room, because if you take a hit by one of the projectiles there, it can knock you into the spikes. It's like Mega Man 1, there's no invincibility on the spikes, so... Ooh, I took a hit there, but that's okay, because we got a secret room right here. Check out the ceiling. Right above us, there's no blocks there. You see the little blocks right above me? So we take this little jump halfway up the room, and there's a hidden passageway here. So we'll get our full life one up here, we'll get our full life one up, and our whip upgrade. So we're back to the chain whip, so... And made so much effort about how easy that guy is to avoid me. He ended up hitting me, so... That's okay, we're going to get another whip upgrade up here. This one's kind of tricky to get. But now we got to use these spikes that come out of the wall to jump up. Now this candle here, in order to get it's a whip upgrade, we want to wait until all the spikes retract themselves. And then we wait until the next spike comes out. If you look really closely, the spikes that come out are kind of pushed in a little bit. And they're not flush with the others. So this room's kind of tricky because the spikes come out pretty fast. We got one more to come out here. Boom. Take it there. And we just drop down. There's a little ledge here. We can take a little time. This room here, the spikes come out really fast. But you just jump over onto the first spike. Don't pause and just walk as fast as you can. You'll make it through that room unscathed. Here we have the quarter with these 3 knights. We're going to have 3 knights right in a row. And there's no whip upgrade. So if... I don't think it's possible to damage boost through them if you only have the leather whip. I mean, you can damage boost them, but you'll probably take so much damage that you probably won't be able to make it through this hallway, so... Yeah, it's kind of tough to get through. But thankfully, if you make it through this hallway, you're pretty much set. Because right here is the final checkpoint. Right below us is the final fight, Dracula. And you're always going to start in this room, and you're always going to get at least 1 whip upgrade there. So you're always going to fight Dracula with at least a chain whip. So Dracula's going to have 2 forms. The first form is pretty easy. He's just going to be like a man, and he's going to appear in different spots in the room. If you have the fireball, you can just hang out across from him and shoot him. If not, stay in the middle and jump up and avoid the diagonal projectiles that he spawns. So he's going to shoot diagonal, in a cross, diagonal, cross. and then he's going to teleport around. So he appears on the left, right, center, top, and then he's going to appear in the center, in the middle here. So when he's in the middle, we can just stand there and whip. Now here comes the tough part. He turns into this like vampire bat, and it just flies around the top of the screen. So you might be thinking, that ain't that difficult. Well, the problem that makes it difficult is he stops random locations and he shoots out these bats. And the bats, of course, like I mentioned in Stage 2, bats are annoying because they have a weird flight pattern, and they can be unpredictable and knock you back, make you lose your whip, and also make you maybe potentially fall into the spikes. Also, you can see the leather whip does so much less damage. It takes about like 3 hits to do the strike of the whip end with the fireball. But after we defeat that form, that is the defeat of Dracula, and that ends the game. Like a lot of other Castlevania games, 1, 3, and Super Castlevania 4 there, when we defeat Dracula, his power sustains his castle, and we get to see Christopher, or whatever Belmont we're starring as, hang out on the ledge of a cliff and watch the castle crumble, and basically that's his, you know, reward. He's like, yep, I got to defeat evil, now I get to see it crumble in front of me. And now we get a little staff roll, so... like I said, this game is not really necessarily well received by most folks. The remake, the second game, Castlevania: The Adventure 2, a lot of people seem to like that. They have much better opinion of that. Legends as well, which actually stars a female Belmont, but is taken out of the Castlevania canon. There's also a remake of this game available for the Wii, but the Wii shop is down, so you can't necessarily get it anymore. So, but there was a remake of this game, Castlevania: The Adventure Rebirth, but it's almost nothing like it. Longer stages, more bosses, more stages. It's almost just a remake in name only. So, if you looked at the two comparably, you wouldn't even tell that it's kind of a remake. But I think that game did get some good, reviews as well. But don't have it. I don't actually have a lot of Castlevania games, but the ones I do have, of course, I'm going to play. So, hey, congratulations, Christopher, on defeating Dracula. But, oh, looks like we really didn't have to defeat him. But, you know who will defeat Dracula? Mr. Tumnus! Yep, Mr. Tumnus, he's going to be our hero who defeats Dracula in Super Castlevania 4. So, be on the lookout for that Let's Play. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.